everybody, it's the Crafty V, and this is another sewing tutorial for you guys. And also, yeah, my hair's down for once. So in this sewing tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a choker. This is a fairly easy project, but if you really want to get fancy with it, then it could become a bit of an intermediate project. But without further ado, let's get started. Now, I already started the base of this choker off camera. Basically what you need is a strip of fabric that can go around your neck, and this can fit however loosely or tightly as you would like for it to. Now, if you want it to be tighter and it's kind of loose, I'll show you guys how to fix that in just a second. But as of how I did this, all I did was I figured, that's a bit thicker than I'd like, so I folded it over to make it a bit thinner, as you might be able to see, and then I just kind of sewed down. Actually, I'm going to trim some more off of this really quickly, but yeah, the choker can be as thick or as thin as you would like for it to be. I just like mine to be fairly thin, not like paper thin, because that would be hard to sew, but yeah. So I'm going to quickly, off camera, trim this up a bit, because I don't quite like this edge, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm almost done trimming away this bit, so all I've got is a few more snips, so let me just... And there we go, all trimmed down to my liking. Now, like I said, this can be as thick or as thin as you would like for it to be. Like I said, I just like mine to be a bit thinner. But in any case, we have our basic choker strip. So now, what we're going to do, and this might be where the tutorial gets a little bit intermediate, because in order to fasten mine, I'm using these little snaps. Hold on, let me pull this apart. They're a little hard to pull apart on their own. There we go. But anyway, I'm using these little snaps. You can buy these. I think they would be fairly cheap. I don't quite know, because I found these in our garage. But yeah, these are little sew-on snaps. I'm aware that they do make some that you don't sew on. I don't know how you attach those. Maybe a hot glue gun, but yeah. So before I sew these on, I'm going to quickly see how this fits on my neck. Okay, lay that piece down. Oh, I've actually got quite a bit of slack with this on my neck. A little bit more than I would like, so I'm going to trim that down. This is where I'm going to trim it, though I'm not actually going to cut any of this off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply fold it over like this. There we go. Now this will make this a little tighter on my neck, which is what I typically like. Also, I want to note that the way I sewed this down whenever I folded it over, I did machine sew it, but it's a simple enough project that you can sew it by hand. So now that I've got this bit folded, what I want to do is take one of my snap pieces, if you can see. So I'm going to take this piece of the snap. I've got some white thread onto this needle, and I'm just going to hand stitch this snap onto this piece. Let's see. The snap should go here, so I'm going to sew on this side. Alright, going to do that. This isn't normally how I sew my snaps on. Normally what I do is I hold the snap against the fabric and then poke the needle through, but this is how I'm doing it this time. And you don't have to, if you have sew-on snaps, you don't have to sew them on like I do. You can use a variety of ways to sew on your snaps. Or glue them on if you don't have the sew-on kind. I don't know how those work, to be honest. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm just doing some running stitches to go through the holes on these sew-on snaps. Like so. As you can see, I've got quite a few stitches going through those two holes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down to this bottom hole. And you might be able to see there, if my camera will focus, that there is a stitch right there going from the top snap to the bottom snap. And you're going to have to remember that one later, because that's where you're going to tie it off. So we're going to repeat the same process with the third and fourth holes as you did the first and second holes. Just make a whole bunch of stitches to secure the snap in place. If you can find the hole. There we go. Keep in mind, this can be a little tricky at first, which is why I said before that this could be where the tutorial gets to the intermediate level. Oopsie. Don't pull it out of your hands while you're sewing. Okay, I think that is secure. So what I'm going to do now, remember that little thread, that little area that I remembered that I mentioned, going from the bottom snap to the top snap? That's where I'm going to tie it off. So I'm going to take the needle under it, and you see that loop forming. What you're going to do is you're going to take your needle and go through that. And you're going to do that 2 or 3 times to safely tie it off. And the last one. Now, if you were counting, you might have seen that I did 4 to tie it off. I like the extra security knowing that that's much less likely to come off, because this is a choker. It's going to be coming on and off of my neck quite a bit, so yeah. Okay, we've got that one sewn down, so remember where I folded it over before? That's what we're going to do again. And we're going to re-knot your thread. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that fold stays in place by sewing it down to the rest of the strap of the choker. And we're coming up on time. I'm going to do a part 2 of this. I'm very sorry that I do part 2s. I just don't have a proper camera, guys, so I don't have proper space. But, yeah. I'll see you guys in part 2. Later!